Hello, people. My name is Haggai. Thank you so much for joining me this night. Today is day one, and I'm really looking forward to the other 24 days. Continue praying and trusting with me. If you've not gotten the copy of the book, here it is. It's still at 500 shillings. You can contact me, and then you'll get it. So today I want to do for the next 25 days. If you've not checked, if this is the first video you are seeing, I want to go through this book. I'll pick 25 points, and then I will tell you one story, and then one Bible verse, so that I can be able to end your night every day, 10 p.m. for the next 25 days. So poem number one. Poem number one actually gives the whole book its name. It's called Petals of Emotion. So here goes the poem. In the journey of life, we leave behind seeds of our doing, seeds that grow into petals, some beautiful like roses, and those with riches of love, passion, colors, and smile, exuding the scent of celebration and tranquility, with thorns to remind us of the hearts accompanying it. Some seed, dull as cactus, desolate with sorrows, tears, and pain, build up of scars, strains, and burden, but still muscled with mark of endurance. God is the gardener, continuously dressing our petals. Though painful, the yellow fallen leaves color the roses. So, like I said, this gives the theme of the book. And if you look at the poem Vizuri, it says that life is a journey. And our actions take the personification of seeds. And as we know, our actions have consequences. And so when we sow our seeds, the actions that comes out are petals. Some stanzas 2 tells us that some of the seeds, they produce beautiful roses. And we know when you give someone roses, I know especially for ladies, there's that color. It signifies love, it signifies passion. You know, it adds colors and brings smiles. But there's a caution, because it says every rose has a thorn. So even in times of your goodness and in times of your happiness, you need to understand that if you die in your happiness, and if you try and seek it, it can actually hurt you. But then there are days when you cast your seeds, and because of the barrenness of the land, because of the barrenness of the time, like right now, how we're finding ourselves in COVID situation, is that they produce not even petals itself, but cactus, and so it brings sorrows. It's a place of tears, it's a place of pain. But the poem also tells us that even during this time, there's something to celebrate, because actually it can build up. It can build up endurance. It helps us to be patient. It helps us to have a muscle through and during this time. But the last stanza is sort of like the crown of it, because at the end of the day, God is the one who is continuously taking care of us. That is the one who chops off the petals that are not working, and the one that retains the one that are working. And although it's painful, if you look at how late summer, the people will tell you is that the fallen leaves, they create actually a very wonderful and beautiful ambience. So I don't know what you're going through right now. Maybe you are in that point of good times, and please, so celebrate and be happy about that. But also be careful. Waswahili wanasemanga karaha isikue karaha. And if you're in difficult times, continue trusting God, because He's the one who can be able to bring good tidings. So on to the story of the day. So for this first 1 week, I'm going to tell you the African folk stories, and then the rest of the days I will be giving like sort of like a mash of African stories, but other stories that we can learn from. So the story of today comes straight from the East Africa. So every night, as you know, Africans will gather around a fire, and a story will be told to them. And these stories are supposed to elicit lessons. And so I would like you to be able also to share some of the lessons that you have in the comments. So the story of today tries to explain the origin of Lake Tanganyika. Are you ready? Let's do this. Long time ago, in the region where you see the lake, there was a wide plain where many tribes lived who had large herds of oxen and goats. In this plain was a very large village. As was the custom in those days, all the houses of this village were surrounded by tall hedges with stalls where people drove in their cattle for the night to keep them from wild beasts and robbers. In one of this enclosure, there lived with his wife a man who owned a deep spring from which a little stream came. This spring, strange to say, contained many kinds of fishes, which the man and his wife used for food. But this large supply of food was a secret. No one outside the family knew about it. A story handed down from father to son said that the day when the secret should be told to a stranger, the family will be ruined and destroyed. It was a very necessary that it be kept as a secret. By and by, there came into this family a pretty daughter. She grew up to be a woman, and many young men from around came to admire her. It happened, unknown to the father and the mother, that the daughter loved one of these men, and her love for him increased. One day, she secretly brought the young man some fish from the wonderful spring. The flesh was so good and of such fine flavor that her lover wanted to know whence it came. The daughter kept silent for a long time, with fear of what might happen if she told the secret. Finally, she promised to tell it. Her lover, the young man, was so great as to make her believe that she must do whatever he asked of her. One day, the mother and the father had to make a journey. Before starting, they strictly cautioned their daughter to keep the secret about the wonderful spring, to admit no stranger in the home, and not to gossip with the neighbors. The daughter promised, but as soon as the mother and the father had scattered, she went hurriedly to find her lover. "Come," said she, You're going to learn now where the fish come from." Her lover went with her. He entered the house where the daughter gave him a palm wine, banana, sorghum, porridge, palm oil, seasoned with pepper, and a quantity of fish. When he had finished the meal, the man said, "Show me where you catch the fish." She replied, "Yes, but it is a secret which, if told, will cause great misfortune." "Fear not," said her lover. She rose, she led him within the enclosure and showed him what seemed to be a little pool, round in shape and full of clear water, which bubbled out of the ground. "Look," she said, "there's a wonderful spring, and there are delicious fish." The young man had never seen anything like it, for there was no river nearby. A fish came near to him, and he stretched out his hand to catch it. Alas! That was the end of everything. The Muzimu spirit were enraged. The earth split asunder. The plain sank so deep that the longest plummet cannot go to the bottom of it. The spring overflowed and filled the great chasm which had appeared in the earth. And now, what do you see there on the spot? Tanganyika. So that is the story of today. Let me know what you learn. There is the story of love. There's the theme of keeping a tradition and secret. So let me know what you think about the story. The verse of today is from Romans 8:28, and I'm reading from the NIV. It says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose." And that is in tandem with the theme of the poem today, that at the end of the day, no matter where you find yourself, no matter the consequences of your situation, God will always be there for you, and he will work out things for the good of those whom he loves. Take care, have a good night, and see you tomorrow.